budget overland setup if you want to do that with my styrofoam footbox. First trial out here near Joshua Trees, and obviously it's very windy, about 20 knots wind right now, fairly cold in the 40s at night, and it works fantastic. So let's take a look a little bit about how it stays in the truck and how easy it is to maneuver. As you can see, it just sits right on the back of the truck bed right here, and I got a tarp that is glued down over it, and that makes it waterproof. If there's any water that comes down, it just runs right down here to the tailgate and dribbles off to the side, or even if it goes underneath, it's going to go to the crack in the tailgate and go outside. So worst case scenario, a sleeping pad might get a little bit wet at the very bottom, but it's an X-Ped. It's not gonna hurt anything. Right now, the wind is not moving it at all. And how is it held in place? Because it is very lightweight. It only weighs 5 pounds. That's it, 5 pounds. So it's held in place by the soft topper. So the soft topper, this again, it gives you a nice rain shield right here, all the way down. And then the bar that hooks up to your soft topper right here, you lock it in and zip it down, and it's going to hold it. So if you look inside right here, I have a ledge. This ledge right here kind of locks in onto the bar and holds it down. So it's pretty sturdy. And then what I do is I run a bungee cord from this right over here. I just clip a bungee cord on this and run it into one of the clips in the back of the truck, and it holds it from sliding out even more. But it seems like it doesn't even need to do that. So this gives you a full 6'5" or something like that sleeping space right up to the edge of the tailgate, which is perfect. And then on the side, I went ahead and put the diesel heater in. So I just cut a hole right here and run this diesel heater all the way down. And then the controls for the diesel heater go right up inside of the truck here. So you can start it, run it, and shut it off all from inside the truck. And just a basic homemade diesel heater type scenario here. This is a 2 kilowatt diesel heater. It just sips fuel. I ran it all night long on the smallest jackery you can get. I ran that diesel heater all night long on low. I charged my phone, I charged the GoPro, a couple other things, and it was still at 65% in the morning after running all night and some of the morning. So if you're doing any driving during the day, you can charge that right up back to 100%. So the jackery handles this more than enough for a night, and quite possibly 2 nights if you're not charging other devices. So the diesel heater just sits right here, little exhaust port, and you're good to go. Now, as far as when it comes time to leave camp, it's really simple. You just simply slide this into the truck and shut your tailgate. That's all you have to do. Your gearboxes or whatever you have inside will, this will slide right over the top of all that stuff. So it makes it really simple to get into camp and, of course, leave camp. Getting in and out of this is a little bit, I haven't quite got a procedure down yet, but so far what I've done is I just simply undo the bar here on both sides, undo a zipper like this. I undo one of the zippers, I pull this up, and I just slide this completely out like that, and I crawl right in. So once I get in, again, this weighs 5 pounds. It's no big deal. I just simply put it right back on, put my tarp over the top here, the soft topper, that, buckle it down, and it's nice and secure, even in these windy conditions. And I did get a fair amount of rain the other night, and the rain kind of just runs right off of here. None of it really came up into the cab area because it runs down here and just kind of goes off. So there is a little bit of a hole right here. This hole you need that space in order for it to slide in, so it clears all of your securing points in there. But this hole, I just shoved some material in there, and like a extra t-shirt or pair of pants, and that clogs that hole up from any kind of a draft coming into the truck bed. So you get a pretty secure all around weather protection, and it's, you know, it's pretty strong. It'll handle it. It'll handle the outside weather with no problem. So hopefully you like it. It works for me. Real cheap budget option for your overland rig. Hello, welcome to the inside of the cheap overland setup. This 5-foot Tacoma is a little bit too short to sleep in, obviously. So with the tailgate down and this footbox installed, you get about 6.5 feet or 6 feet 10 inches, something like that. Plenty enough to stretch out and have a good night's rest. So the footbox solves all that problem. It only weighs 5 pounds, so obviously it would blow away if there was any kind of a wind or anything. And the way that it is secured down is by the soft topper. The soft topper has a bar right here that normally secures it down. That bar, if you measure the height properly and have the footbox just enough height to catch the bottom of that bar will snugly hold the footbox into place. I put an additional ridge on here with some extra material, so that way if you happen to be in a campsite that you're a little bit nose low, or there's really a lot of wind and rain, anything that does happen to get underneath the bottom of this bar will stop at this ledge here and run off to the sides. The soft topper, when it's used in its normal configuration and it's closed like this, has a few inches of extra material that normally flap down over the tailgate. Well, that extra material creates a really tight seal against the footbox, just naturally laying down. And that keeps almost all the wind, the rain, and snow out of the interior space here, just by it, just by laying down on there. So it seals up pretty good. Now the width of your box needs to be a little bit narrower than the truck bed, because you have your tie down latches, and you want to be able to slide this footbox in with ease into the truck bed. That creates a problem. About 2 inches of space on each side that allows air to flow into the cab. All you have to do is take some extra material, an extra sweatshirt or t-shirt, shove it into the sides there, and that secures the box even more to the vehicle, and it keeps any draft from coming in. That is also inside the vehicle by a few inches. So if you shove a t-shirt or something in there and it's pouring down rain, that shirt's still gonna be dry. It's not gonna get wet, which is pretty cool. Over here, I just picked the passenger side, but the passenger side is where I drill the hole, and I have my air vent coming from the diesel heater, and it just really cooks you out in here. It works really well. This is kind of an insulating foam anyway, so you don't get a lot of temperature intrusion from the outside here. And just being a small enclosed space, the diesel heater will really keep you nice and warm, even on a very low setting. It's about 38, 40 degrees outside, getting colder, and looks like it's just about 61 degrees in here and getting warmer. I'll probably have to turn it off eventually here. But anyway, that diesel heater pipes in down here by your feet. Typically when you sleep, your feet get kind of cold, and this pumps nice warm air right on your feet, and then it just lofts up into the living area. So it's a really perfect arrangement to have that. The controls just slip right into the side over here, and I can control my diesel heater from my controller right here. It's plugged into my Jackery, and this is kind of an easy deal. Here we go. So here's my controller. My Jackery, I just had some spare parts in the shop, This is actually a bookend type thing, and it just slides right over this mount here, and the weight keeps my jackery nice and comfortable there, and I can plug in my extra devices, charge them all night long, run the diesel heater, and this is up off the floor, so it gives you a little bit more floor space. And also down here, what I do is this extra space, I put my boots there to keep obviously your living area clean, but boots are great holders for water. One of my techniques in really cold temperatures is I'll boil some water, get some really warm water, and fill my thermos up before I go to bed at night, and then you can have a nice warm beverage at night. You know, have a, you know, up in the mountains it's pretty dry and stuff like this, so you drink a lot and it's nice and warm, helps keep you warm. It's just nice to have a hot beverage in the middle of the night. So that's kind of how my setup is. As far as the padding and the sleeping goes, this is an Xped 4-inch thick mattress, and it's 6 feet long. It works perfect in this Tacoma. It fits exactly in between the wheel wells, which is really cool, and gives you this little bit of side space right here, so you can put any extra items. So the Xped mattress, and I also do with the Xped mattress underneath here, I have a moving blanket. You can see that right here. This moving blanket, that's kind of underneath everything. You put the moving blanket down first, and that protects your Xped, gives you a little bit of more insulation, and if there's any dirt, dust, anything like that, it's gonna pretty much keep that away from your camping gear. So a real cheap moving mattress is great, and then I have a blanket. You just throw that down, and then another blanket on top when you sleep, and you're going to be a very comfortable night's rest in your little short bed Tacoma with your footbox. Again, this weighs only 5 pounds, so it's real easy in and out. You just unlatch your soft topper here, flip the back up, and just move this out of the way. I mean, you know, you can just hold it with a couple fingers, move it out of the way, you crawl out, and then put it back into place. I haven't had any issues with it sliding out, so I think this is going to be the final product anyway, as far as keeping it nice and secure. In the links down below, you'll see my other videos where I use a Kodiak canvas tent. Obviously, not a lot of space in here, which is fine if it's just, you know, a short night, you're just crawling in here to sleep. But if you're going to be on a longer trip and you want some more space, or the weather is really going to suck on your trip and you want to have a lot more room to hang out inside, I recommend using the Kodiak canvas tent. That gives you a lot of headroom and just a lot more spacious feeling overall. In addition to that, with the soft topper setup in this footbox, this is primarily a winter setup. Summertime, it's going to get pretty hot and you don't have any ventilation in here. The Kodiak canvas tent has windows and awnings, all kinds of stuff to allow you to ventilate and keep the sun off of you, and this doesn't do that. So I would pretty much say that this is a winter only or cold temperature only type setup. If you're going to be doing the summertime, then I would recommend just going with a Kodiak canvas tent, which is also another great budget item if you're going to do a budget overland setup, and you can ditch the footbox here altogether. But hey, if you want to roll into camp, 1 to 2 minutes of setup, this little footbox is the way to go. It's nothing, 5 pounds, a little bit of your time to build, easy to install, easy to get in and out, and plenty of protection from any kind of weather that you're going to have outside. It's been, we had lots of rain last night, and it kept me dry, no water intrusion at all. Pretty good winds, around 20-mile-an-hour winds. up here in the Joshua Tree area, and this was solid the whole time. Like I said, temperature wise, it kept me draft free. You know, just make sure you put your stuff in the sides here and secure this down, and there will be no draft in here. That diesel heater keeps you really warm, and if you don't have that, obviously just being out of the elements is a great solution to staying warm and comfortable. So there you go. That's the very cheap Overland setup from the inside. Not much to it, which simplicity is key for quick setup and breakdown, and reducing the load on your vehicle while you're underway. So there you go, man. 5-pound foot box. Great solution. Hope you like it.